Hello, everybody. I'm Jonathan Ross. This is Allison, Matt, and Jeff, and of course, Vance on the other side. And the reason that we're bringing this program to you is because we as singers always start learning basically the same way. We start off with a couple songs, maybe one of the things that we hated, which was some sort of vocal technique book, like Vakai or Marquesa. Did you ever make your students do exercises?
I have. Yes.
Oh, yes. He is a professor teaching voice. And then
Don't say that, they're going to think I'm good now.
Then we all go to the 26 or 24 Italian arias.
Or 28 now.
Or 28, depending upon what voice you are.
Including
and so
me,
all of
including
us
me.
have sung them. Do you remember one that you've done?
Star vicino al bellino che s'ama. 25 years later.
Yep.
Still in.
And for me, like, Vittoria, 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 mio core. And my favorite, O del mio dolce ardor, bramato getto. I loved it. For you?
Oh, Maria, mia bella.
And Jeff, what did you do? Any of them?
Già il sole d'Algante, già il sole d'Algante.
And even Vance did one.
Oh, cessate di piagarmi, oh, cische cacciatore.
Lasagna, lasagna,
Being
lasagna.
an accompanist, I always forget the words.
So once we could, our pronunciation was good enough, our vocal technique was good enough, then they'd move us up to some sort of leader or single songs, such as the Schubert 59 favorite songs. And everybody had to do, what is it, like, Dein Bild ist wunderbar. Well, that's an opera.
That's
I was trying to think, Andi Musi.
I did have to do
Die
that. one.
Hohne Kunti Shiva.
Yep.
Right? Andi music. So after that, then we would go toward maybe singing arias and opera, or then we'd also do art song cycles. And art song cycles allowed us to get deeper into the music, to sing a lot of songs uninterrupted typically, which would challenge us vocally, but also challenge us as we tried to get across that expression. And so today, we're going to be bringing you some art songs cycles and some piano cycles from across different ages, going back to 1832, I guess, and 1850s with Schubert and Schumann, and then jumping ahead to George Butterworth, which is in the early 1900s, a contemporary of, what's his name, Vaughan Williams. And then Irving Fine, which is the reason that I was doing this program all together, because I love these songs, these three songs. And then Copland as well. So we hope you enjoy, and Matt's going to take it from here.
All right. I will. Die schöne Millerin is translated as the beautiful miller's daughter, basically. And the interesting thing is she is the silent character in the entire cycle. In fact, the character with which the narrator, myself, has the best relationship with is actually the brook, which is often represented by the piano. Now, one thing I found really amusing about this cycle is that the poet, Wilhelm Müller, who incidentally also was the poet that Schubert set for his other cycle, Die Winterreise. We'll talk about that one a little bit later. Incidentally, he conceived this because of essentially a party game. So there was this idea that these people were going to have a party, and they had this literary game that they played where they made up a story. And this was the story they made up. And people wrote poems according to what part they were assigned. People did improvised music according to what part they were assigned. And Wilhelm Müller, by virtue of his name, was actually the miller's apprentice. So afterwards, he took that evening and he essentially wrote 26 poems, I think, and Schubert set 20 of them. Now, in the beginning, the character's just walking. I want to play a little bit of that first song. to sing that one for you, and I'm not going to sing a lot of them for you because they're what's called strophic, which means there are many verses that all have the same melody. I will do one strophic one for you, but I'm not going to do all of it because I want to save us time. So we get to know the cycle a little more. Essentially, after he's walking, he sees a brook, and then he asks the brook where he should go. And that's what happens in this song.
Ich hört ein Bächlein rauschen, wohl auf dem Felsenquell. Hinab zum Tal rauschen, so frisch und wunderhell. Ich weiß nicht, wie mir wurde, nicht wer den Rat mir gab. Ich musste auch hinunter mit meinem Wanderstab. Ich musste auch hinunter mit meinem Wanderstab. Hinunter und immer weiter und immer dem Bach nach. Und immer frischer rauschte und immer heller Bach. Und immer frischer rauschte und immer heller Bach. Ist das denn meine Straße? O Bächlein, sprich wohin? Wohin, sprich wohin? Du hast mit deinem Rauschen mir ganz berauscht den Sinn. Du hast mit deinem Rauschen mir ganz berauscht den Sinn. Was sag ich dem vom Rauschen? Das kann kein Rauschen sein. Es singen wohl die Nixen tief unten ihren Rhein. Es singen wohl die Nixen tief unten ihren Rhein. Lass singen, Gesell, lass rauschen und wandre fröhlich nach. Es gehen ja wieder Räder in jeden klaren Bach. Es gehen ja wieder Räder in jeden klaren Bach. Lass singen, Gesell, lass rauschen und wandre fröhlich nach, fröhlich nach, fröhlich nach.
But then the miller's apprentice follows the brook, and he stops when he sees a windmill and thinks that's where the brook meant to take him. And then he meets the miller's daughter. And he says, this is really the reason you brought me here, is the miller's daughter. And then the song after that, he gets very frustrated. And instead of, you heard the piano doing all the little eddies of the brook, of the waterway. And this next one, the piano, is the frustration the miller's feeling. And then I'm going to do the one after, so you get the sense of the cycle of it. So you'll hear two back to back. And what's interesting about these two is, well, first of all, neither of them is strophic. They don't have any of the same music, really. I think parts of them repeat, but it's not the same verse. And there's actually recitative, which is very unusual for songs, which means that the music stops, and there's a moment where the singer can take their time to really make the text clear and almost tell you a story. So see if you can catch those moments.
Hätt ich 1000 Arme zu reden, könnt ich brausen die Reden wehren, könnt ich gehen durch alle Heine, könnt ich drehen alle Steine, dass die schönen Männer reden, merkt meine treuen Sinn, dass die schönen Männer merkt meinen treuen Sinn. Ach, wie ist mein Arm so schwach, was ich hebe, was ich schlage, was ich schneide, was ich schlage, jede Knabe tut mir's nach, jede Knabe tut mir's nach. Und da sitz ich in der großen Runde, in die stillen, kühlen Feuerstunde. euer Werk hat mir gefallen, und das liebe Mädchen sagt allen eine gute Nacht, allen eine gute Nacht. Hätt ich 1000 Arme zu rühren, könnt ich brausen die Räder führen, könnt ich wehen durch alleine, könnt ich drehen alle Steine, dass die schöne Männerin möchte meinen treuen Sinn, dass die schöne Männerin möchte meinen treuen Sinn, dass die schöne Männerin möchte meinen treuen Sinn.
And this next one, he just wants to know if she sees him, and so, of course, he asks the brook.
Ich frage keine Blumen, ich frage keinen Stern, sie können mir alle nicht sagen, was ich erwürm so gern. Ich bin ja auch kein Gärtner, die Sterne stehen zu hoch, mein Bächlein will ich fragen, ob mich mein Herz belog. O Bächlein meiner Liebe, was bist du heut so stumm? Wir ja nicht das wissen, ein Wörtchen um und um, ein Wörtchen um und um. Ja, heißt das eine Wörtchen, das andere heißt nein. Die beiden Wörtchen schließen die ganze Welt mir ein. Die beiden Wörtchen schließen die ganze Welt mir ein. O Bächlein meiner Liebe, du bist wie wunderlich, will es ja nicht weiter sagen. Sag, Bächlein, liebt sie mich? Sag, Bächlein, liebt sie mich?
Of course, then we'll fast forward several songs where he's really wanting this to happen, and then eventually it does. And so this song is called Mine. And you're probably hearing the word Bächlein in a lot of these, and that is the word for little brook. So if you don't know any German, today you've learned that a Bach is a brook, and a Bach is like a river, and a Bächlein is like a little version of that. So this is mine.
No, it's mine. It's
It's ours.
It's ours.
Bächlein, lasst das Rauschen sein, denn schritt ein Eure sein. Habt ihr muntre Wölferlein, groß und klein, endet eure Melodie. Endet eure Melodie. Durch den Hain, Hals und ein, treu ein Reimelein. Durch den Hain, Hals und ein, treu ein Reimelein. Die geliebte Millerin ist mein, ist mein. Die geliebte Millerin ist mein, ist mein. Mein, mein. Frühling, hast du gerade kein Blümlein? Sonne, hast du keinen hellen Hain? Antworten kannst allein mit dem seligen Wort herein. Verloren ihnen deine Lebenszeit. Verloren in den weiten Schöpfungssein. Bächlein, lass das Rauschen sein, wird ein Anden sein, untereinander ein, groß und klein, endet eure Melodie, endet eure Melodie. Durch den Hain, Hals und ein, heut ein Reimelein, durch den Hain, Hals und ein, schalle heut ein Reimelein, die geliebte Melodie ist mein, die geliebte Melodie ist mein, ist mein. But we're only in the middle of the cycle. It's song number 11, and as all good things in life, this comes to an end, and actually rather abruptly. A hunter comes in at one point, and the miller's apprentice becomes rather jealous of him, even though nothing has happened, and eventually becomes very sad and disillusioned. And that's what the next song is going to be, is the sad disillusionment. And then ultimately decides to throw himself into the brook and drown himself. So I'm going to sing the next two songs back to back, only going to skip a verse of the really sad one, so I'll spare you that. But then I'm going to sing you the Der Müller und der Bach, which is the second to last song. And in that one, he asks the brook for solace, and the brook tells him that love will shine again, but then he thinks the brook means that he should go into the brook and find rest under the water. And so you'll hear, in the very last song, you'll hear when it's very sad, it's the miller, and when it's a happier melody, that's the brook trying to cheer the miller up. And then you'll hear him sink into the brook at the end. I won't sing you the final song of the cycle, that's the brook's lullaby to the miller. But I will sing you Die Liebefarbe, which is the sad song, and Der Müller und der Bach.
And so here's where the accompanist has a question. May I?
Yes.
So, Die Liebefarbe is the beloved color, you might
Yes,
say?
yes.
So the word grün comes up a lot. I'm wondering, does the hunter wear green?
Yes, not only does the hunter wear green, but in a previous song, his sweetheart likes green. And actually, in that other previous song, this is before Berlioz and before Wagner. He actually borrows a motif from a previous song. in this one. So you have to hear the whole cycle to hear it, but it is 20 songs, so well, I won't keep you here for 20 songs, just 2 more.
Und gehen alle Morgen zur Erde. Bächlein, liebes Bächlein, du meinst es so gut. Ach, Bächlein, aber weißt du, die Liebe tut. Ach, unten, da unten, die Kieler Ruh. Ach, Bächlein, liebes Bächlein, zu singen nur zu. Ach, Bächlein, liebes Bächlein, zu singen nur zu.
All right. So I also did a Schubert art song series, Dichterliebe, back in college. But in fact, I think Schumann is arguably a better song composer. Of course, that's a big argument between those that study it. For me, what I like about Schumann is that there's a little bit more interplay, relationship maybe, between the pianist. Like the pianist is part of the story as well as the singer, and that's one of the reasons I love Schumann. I'm going to be singing from Liederkreis Opus 39, which is, some people say, the best art song cycle ever written. You know, it was considered the best one of the day, for sure. It's poetry set to some person, Talik, whatever his name is, it's really long, it's in your program. But what's really significant about it is that it was a time when Schumann was separated from Clara and his love. And he was this very depressed, manic person. And the songs go between this extreme sadness of longing and love, and then also this relationship with the woods and the nightingales and nature as a way to kind of deal with that sadness. And so I'll be doing the first three songs, In der Fremde, which is about him being in foreign lands and him separated from everyone he knows. And he says, my mother and father are long dead, and I too will be dead. And I'll just sit here in the loneliness and the woods, in the running or the rushing of the wind. Then the next one is Intermezzo, and this is where he's saying, oh, I remember how beautiful your face was. Dein Bild ist wunderselig. And in the third one, I love this particular song because it really heralds to some of the best German literature. And that is, it's the story of Lorelei, who is the temptress in the forest. And hunters would go in there and be all brave and courageous, and she would bring them into the woods and never let them leave. And so I'll do the first three songs without any break, without any clapping. And so this is one of the hard things for audiences as well, is to learn this. Enjoy the silence in between.
Aus der Heimat hinter den Blitzenrot, da kommen die Wolken hin. Aber Vater und Mutter sind lange tot, es kennt mich dort keiner mehr. Wie bald, ach wie bald, kommt die stille Zeit, da ruhe ich auch, und über mir rauscht die schöne Waldeinsamkeit. kann zu jeder Stund mein Herz still in sie singet, ein neues schönes Lied, das in die Luft sich schwinget und so der heilig sieht. Dein Bildnis wunderselig hab ich im Herzensgrund, das sieht so frisch und fröhlich, ich kann so jede Stund. Es ist schon spät, es ist schon kalt, was reißt nur ein Song durch den Wald? Der Wald ist lang, du bist allein, nur schön bracht ich für dich heim. Groß ist der Mähne Trug und List, vor Schmerz mein Herz gebrochen ist. Wo liegt das Waldhorn her und hin? Oh flieh, du weißt nicht, wer ich bin. So reich geschmiegt ist Ross und Weib, so wunderschön, der junge Leib. Jetzt kenn ich dich, Gott stell mir bei, du bist die Hexe Lorelei. Du kennst mich voll von Hohenstein. Schaut still, mein Schloss tief in den Rhein. Es ist schon spät, es ist schon kalt. Kommst nimmermehr aus diesem Wald, nimmermehr aus diesem Wald.
And as you can imagine, the next song is completely different. And he's like, so it's much lighter. And then he looks up at the moon. And this is one of the most beautiful pieces, but we're only going to do the first page just to give you a hint of it. And this one's called Mondnacht.
Something I have to add, and I don't know if it's in your program notes, Schumann was aware of these personalities within him. So the Florestan, the swashbuckling person we've just heard from, that's the hunter in the woods. This is the Eusebius, the poetic, dreamy soul. So this is the music you get in Mondnacht.
quite beautiful. So then we have a lot of songs that go in between these varying textures of looking at the woods and remembering his lost love or just missing her. And then and all good German things are something about a big castle on the mountain somewhere. And then we get to the last, there's also another song about him being in foreign lands where he's not very happy about being there. And then we're going to do the last two songs. This one is Im Walde, which is back in the woods, and then the last song proves that Germans have some sort of emotion. This one not so much. But this is Im Walde, and then, what is the last one? It's called Frühlingsnacht in the last one.
Es zog eine Hochzeit den Berg entlang. Ich hörte die Flügel schlagen. Da blitzten wir Reiter das Wald und klang. Das war ein lustiges Jagen. Und eis getagt war alles verhehlt. Die Nacht bedecket die Runde. Nur von der Bergen noch rauschen der Wald. Und mich schauet im Herzensgrund. Und mich schauet im Herzensgrund.
It's not only these songs that move in cycles. This is a very cyclical moment for me as well. How many of you have been to Mars Hill University campus? All right. So, you come onto the campus, and if you were to do so, the first building on your left is the music building. And if you look at the music building, there is an office on the left side. And in that office, you might have found me singing this cycle with Vance accompanying me, and my voice teacher, Dr. Julie Fortney, who is here today. 18 years ago is when you would have found us all there, and here we are again today And again, I'm fortunate enough to have Vance to accompany me, and the person who now occupies that office is my current voice teacher, Matt Blanks. So cycles all around. So when you're a music student, as Jonathan was saying at the beginning of this program, there is a certain protocol, a planned trajectory for your learning. And so you learn to sing in Italian. Usually Italian comes first, 5 vowels, very approachable. Spanish, German, and French. And the one I was most dubious about was French. Too many vowels, too much Gallic phlegm in interesting places. And so I was very nervous about doing French. I thought to myself, oh my goodness, how is this going to go? And wouldn't you know, irony of ironies, that ended up being the language that I was told sat best in my voice. Well, it turns out that this song cycle is one of ironies because Poulenc wrote it to make fun of poetry that he couldn't stand. And it became very popular, and he became known for it, and that was a great irony to him. So, irony that this is one of Poulenc's most famous and well-liked works, and irony that the French turned out to be right for me. And so I'll give you just a brief intro to each of the 4 songs. I'll sing the 4 straight through. So, first, "Er romantique," Poulenc says it is to be sung with the wind in one's face. We're going to imagine that. I considered having a wind machine, but thought that might be a bit much. So just imagine, all of these are in a bucolic setting. Thank you, he's going to help me. Now, if you would all please just, blow air my way. The second one, "Er champêtre," about this particular song was the one that Poulenc wrote to one of his colleagues. "Have I been punished for my vandalism of this poetry? I fear so, because this song that irritates me is said to be a hit." And then following that, "Er grave," sharply contrasting with the other 3 songs, the first 2 and then the last, which move very quickly. This one is very lyrical and melodic, and the last one, "Er vif," with an edge of hysteria. Can't wait for that. And a shout out to my sister-in-law, Susan Griffin-Trognelovac, who helped me with the French, get that brush back up before presenting it to you today. I'll put this down and we'll get started.
Oh, sorry. I don't want to share a password. Okay.
J'allais dans la campagne avec du vent d'orage, sur le palais matin, sur le nuage bas, encore moins ténébreuse pour le grand voyage, et dans les flaques de riz dans le ciel mi-bas. La foudre horizon
how much I had to practice that last line that you just heard. Thank you so much for listening.
So we're going to do this next set. This is the George Butterworth songs from A Shropshire Lad, 6 songs from A Shropshire Lad. And we're going to take a bathroom break after that, and then do a few fun pieces after that. This is from George Butterworth, who was a contemporary with Vaughan Williams, and I think in some ways may have been the greatest English composer out there. He just did such sensitive, beautiful music. Now, these are the A. Houseman poems from the Shropshire Lad, so it's a pretty serious matter. It was the beginning of World War I, the Great War, and a lot of people were going off to war and going to their deaths. And so it kind of challenges that. The first song is about innocence, and looking up at the trees and just imagining his long life, basically. And the next one is being young and naive, and how he instantly learns the lesson of life from an old man. And then the third one, the fourth one, and the fifth one, and the sixth one is about the fact that all these boys are going off to war, and they're proud, and they are strong, and they are brave, and they die. And nobody knows their truth, and nobody can follow their truth to the grave. And so another interesting part of this is that George Butterworth really, he really had a lot of respect for people in military. In fact, he went into it himself. And he was called into war, I think in 1914, and in 1916, or 1915, he won a war for bravery, or an award, because his colonel or whoever it was killed. And so his sergeant was killed, and he had to take over his platoon. And so he won an award for that. And in 1916, he was shot by a sniper at a very large battle of Somme, or something like that. But this is the 6 songs of a Shropshire lad, and please don't clap during the songs. And at the end, when you do clap, and if you're not really sure when to clap, that's good.
Jonathan, did you tell me that this may be the only song cycle that is orchestrated that we're doing today?
It is orchestrated. It has a beautiful, beautiful orchestration. I don't know.
No.
I don't know if it's the only one, but
No.
it's beautiful. So, another thing is that you'll hear some English folk tunes in it, but they're not real ones. And that was something that was different between him and Vaughan Williams. They're made up, and so people accused him of writing, just taking songs that he had collected. He said, no, these are inspired by them, but not based on an actual folk song. So, 6 songs of Shropshire.
Loveliest of trees, the cherry now is hung with bloom along the bough, and stands about the woodland ride. Wearing a white for Eastertide. Now of my 60 years and 10, 20 will not come again, and take from 70 springs a score, it only leaves me 50 more. And since to look at things in bloom, 50 springs are little room. About the woodlands I will go to see the cherry hung with snow. When I was 21, I heard a wise man say, give crowns and pounds and guineas, but not your heart away. Give pearls away and rubies, but keep your fancy free. But I was 21, no use to talk to me. When I was 21, I heard him say again, the heart out of the bosom was never given in vain. 'Tis paid with sighs of plenty and sold for endless rue. And now I'm 22, and oh, 'tis true, 'tis true. is true. Look not in my eyes for fear, they nearer to the sight I see, and there you'll find your face too clear, and love it and be lost like me. One the long nights through must lie, spent in starry defeated sighs, but why should you, as well as I, perish? Gaze not in my eyes. A Grecian lad, as I hear tell, one that many loved in vain, looked into a forest well, and never looked away again. There were not earth in springtime flowers, with downward eye and gaze as sad, stands amid the glancing showers, a jonquil, not a Grecian lad. Think no more land hath we jolly, why should we make haste to die? Empty heads and tongues and talking makes the earth grow easy walking, and the feather pate of folly bears a fallen sky. The lads in their hundreds to Lullo come in for the fair. There's men from the barn and the forge and the mill and the fold. The lads for the girls and the lads for the liquor are there, and there with the rest are the lads that will never get old. There's chaps from the town and the field and the till and the cart, and many to count are the stalwart, and many the brave, and many the handsome of face and the handsome of heart, and few that will carry their looks or their truth to the grave. I wish one could know them, I wish there were tokens to tell, the fortunate fellows that now you can never discern, and then one could talk with them friendly and wish them farewell, and watch them depart on the way that they will not return. But now you may stare as you like, and there's nothing to scan, and brushing your elbow and guess it and not to be told, they carry back right to the coin the mintage of man, the lads that will die in their glory and never be old. Is my team plowing that I was used to drive, and hear the harness jingle when I was man alive? Aye, the horses trample, the harness jingles now, no change though you lie under the land you used to plow. Is football playing along the river shore with lads to chase the leather? Now I stand up no more. Aye, the ball is flying, the heart plays pride and soul. The goal stands up, the keeper stands up to keep the goal. Is my girl happy that I thought hard to leave? And has she tried of weeping as she lies down at eve? Yes, she lies down lightly, she lies not down to weep. Your girl is well contented. Be still, my lad, and sleep. Is my friend hearty? Now I am thin and pine. And has he found to sleep in a better bed than mine? Yes, lad, I lie easy, I lie as lads would choose. I cheer a dead man's sweetheart. Never ask me whose.
Shall we take a short break? The next part is much shorter, just so you know, and a little bit more energetic. So let's take a short break and we'll be back in about 8 minutes. 10 minutes. So we're going to get started again, and we're going to switch around two things of the Irving Fine. This is a composer, like the last song. One of the reasons that I did Songs of a Shropshire Lad is because I studied with a voice teacher who was the classical baritone opera singer. His name was Dr. Indal Choi. And anytime I have a lot of bad habits from what he taught me, because he had what was called the hookup method. Sounded like that. It sounded like a dying cow when you sang. And so I had to, forcefully get myself into a different studio. And I went to Daddy Dave, who I just absolutely adored. And one of the challenges for me was to sing lighter, because I don't naturally do it, because I studied so many years of that style. And so he introduced me to the English stuff, and I absolutely loved it. And then the Irving Fine as well. And Vance is going to start off by playing his own song cycle. So please, let us know.
So Irving Fine, just a show of hands. Yeah, I know Irving. Yeah, Irv and I go way back. I thought so. I don't know how does one discover a composer? Somehow he came on my radar, and I was looking for something easier to play than Stravinsky, but sounded sort of like Stravinsky. And I found Irving Fine, or Irving Fine found me, maybe. But they lived about the same time. Mr. Fine didn't live quite as long a life. This is a piano cycle. Is not like a song cycle in that it doesn't have words, but there are many symphonic or instrumental cycles. They're just called sonatas. And they're multi-movement, and sometimes there's a little hook, a cyclical part that keeps getting recycled. So the composer will revisit that motive or set of motives or themes throughout. And you'll hear, I'll play the outer movements. The first one is just Allegro Moderato, really catchy name. And then the last one starts out sort of dreamily and then settles into a faster pace. You don't need to know the name, but it's the, in between are two other movements. A waltz gavotte, kind of an amalgamation of those two dances, and then a set of variations. These outer movements, you'll hear that little cyclic theme that comes back in something that sounds like Stravinsky or like Copland, or kind of has that New York, American, Boston vibe of the time. So enjoy.
So this next song cycle is called Childhood Fables for Grown-Ups. And why am I wearing a jacket with
I have no idea.
childhood fables? So you got to dress down for this. So the first one, we're doing three, just three of the set. We're doing, let's see, it is Holaroli, Tiguru, or Tiguru maybe, and then also Lenny the Leopard. But it also goes on to the frog and the snake, two worms, and the duck and the yak. But I discovered these in college and I thought they were marvelous. And again, this was with Daddy Dave. I was looking for music that just wasn't quite so serious. And he said, well, try these out. And I love them, and I think you'll see that it's serious music for grown-ups.
Polaroli, the polar bear, he finds the court so nice. He loves to swim in the deepest snow and sleep on a heap of ice. In ice water he loves to splish and splash and splush and splosh and mush the cold snow under him and snuggle in the slush. His favorite dish is frozen fish with icicles and spicicles and other little nicicles, and that's his favorite dish. And if he had his wish, just one thing he would wish, that all the world were made of snow and ice and frozen fish. There once was a tiger named Tigeroo, the hungriest tiger in the zoo. All day long he liked to eat not cake, not cookies, but only meat. The keeper said, "Now, Tigeroo, you eat too much, you know you do. If you eat any more and you get sick, I'll call the tiger doctor quick." "I'll eat all I like," said Tigeroo. "I'm the hungriest tiger in the zoo." "You tell that doctor I said pooh. If he comes in my cage, I'll eat him too." He covered them over with purple blots and tied his tail in 100 knots. He painted his ears, one red, one blue, and dipped his nose in a pot of glue. And everything else that leopards do. But his mother said, Lenny, I still love you. You're my baby, and I love you.
My turn. Well, thank you all so very much for being here. This is definitely a much more eclectic type of concert here.
Just go a little bit more.
Oh, okay. Hear me. So, Aaron Copland, you all probably have heard his music somewhere. He is kind of the sound of America. He was born 1900, passed away in 1990. He was in that big chunk of time where we as Americans were going through the jazz and the rock and roll, and he really liked a lot of that, and he put it into a lot of his music as well. But his sound is that enduring optimism of America, and it is the open, wide plains, it is the horses running on the prairies, it is the Western, the pioneers, and it is just this really free-spirited sound that I truly, truly love. And so we all mentioned that we were going to dress for kind of our parts today. So everyone, I'm in jeans because doing old American songs. I was like, well, this will fit. And so the first song we're going to sing is "The Dodger," and this is from the Cleveland Blaine presidential campaign in the late 1800s. And it was said that Blaine was dodging the war by paying someone to take his spot. So they use this as a campaign song. They also have a lot of different professions that they keep kind of a parody on. And there's many more parodies they did on different professions, but this one just goes through a couple. And the difference between this set of songs and what the other cycles are is this is just a set of songs. It's kind of the American version of the song cycle. And so it's going to be separate songs as opposed to just kind of one leading into the next, because each song has kind of a different theme, yet the overarching theme is the old American songs. So, "The Dodger."
The candidate's a Dodger, yes, a well-known Dodger, yes. The candidate's a Dodger, yes, and I'm a Dodger too. He'll meet you and treat you and ask you for your vote, but look out, boys, he's a dodging for a note. Yes, we're all dodging, dodging. Yes, we're all dodging our way through the world. He's a Dodger, yes, a well-known Dodger, yes. The preacher, he's a Dodger, yes, and I'm a Dodger too. He'll preach you a gospel and tell you of your crimes. But look out, boys, he's a dodging for your dimes. Yes, we're all dodging. Dodging, yes, we're all dodging our way through the world. a dodger, yes, and I'm a dodger too. He'll hug you and kiss you and call you his bride. But look out, girls, he's a-telling you a lie. Yes, we're all dodging, dodging, dodging. Yes, we're all dodging our way through the world.
This next piece is called Long Time Ago, and it's a simple ballad, but to me, one of the prettiest. And as a bass, a lot of times we can't usually find music in our range, and you have to, even the art songs and things like that, and then when you're younger, they don't consider you a serious bass because they think you're gonna eventually develop into something higher. And when it doesn't happen, everybody's surprised. It's like, okay. But Long Time Ago is just it's just a wonderful tune that actually was picked up, just somebody kind of just found it and then arranged a tune out of it and used the poetry with it. But it's such a reflective piece, and that's what I love about Aaron Copland's arrangements, is it really makes you reflect. Time kind of seems to expand a bit, and you can really feel the poet really thinking and reflecting. Tree and flowing water, long time ago. Bird and bee and blossom taught her love's spell to know. While to my fond words she listened, murmuring low, tenderly her blue eyes glistened. Long time ago. Well, this next piece is Simple Gifts, and we all know, most everybody knows Simple Gifts, the tune, the old shaker melody, and this tune is actually used in Copland's Appalachian Spring. Well, the funny thing about Appalachian Spring was it was never meant to represent Appalachia in springtime. And we kind of, unfortunately, all my dreams were dashed at that point because, yes, of course, when you hear Appalachian Spring, you see everything blooming, you can see the sun rising over the Blue Ridge Mountains, and but this was from a poem actually, and the poem is actually called The Bridge, but the woman that, the dancer that Aaron Copland was writing this for just said she liked the Appalachian Spring title. She just liked it. So, and it actually really means Appalachian, like where the spring feeds the river. But nonetheless, I think Aaron Copland was working with something maybe he even didn't know, because I think the incorporation of Appalachian Spring with the Simple Gifts melody and everything just really gave birth to something that really feels like it's coming from this region. It's a gorgeous, gorgeous piece. But the Simple Gifts, this tune is from an original Shaker melody.
Tis the gift to be simple, tis the gift to be free, tis the gift to come down where you ought to be. And when we find ourselves in a place just right, 'twill be in the valley of love and delight. When true simplicity is gained, to bow and to bend we shan't be ashamed. To turn 'twill be our delight, till by turning we come round right. Tis the gift to be simple, tis the gift to be free, tis the gift to come down where you ought to be. And when we find ourselves in the place just right, 'twill be in the valley of love and delight.
And the next piece here is a tune most of everyone sings in church all the time, At the River. And this piece was kind of an old friend to me, because I sang this at all my recitals that I did in college, and even had the privilege of my dad always accompanying me with this particular piece. And then I finally got the opportunity, fortunately or unfortunately, to sing it as a memorial when he passed. But this song is definitely an old friend. It is, you know, just a piece that does represent that optimism as well. So enjoy At the River.
Shall we gather by the river, where bright angels' feet have trod, with its crystal tide forever flowing by the throne of God? Yes, we'll gather by the river, the beautiful river. Gather with the saints at the river that flows by the throne of God. Soon we
One more? I don't know. Were enough people standing for an encore?
This is, we're going to do the entire Brahms.
Is it going over?
Yeah. Here we go.
This is called, also by Copeland, Zion's Walls.
Sisters and brothers, come join us in singing the praises of Zion, the praises of Zion. Oh, fathers, don't you feel determined to meet within the walls of Zion? We'll shout and go round, we'll shout and go round, we'll shout and go round, we'll shout and go round the walls of Zion.
Thank you for joining us today. We hope that you feel a little bit more knowledgeable about the history of art song and song cycles. And come back next year when Matt does the entire Schöne All right. And Winterreise. Okay. Take care.